Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Cooper, and welcome back to SIS Film Breakdowns. This episode will begin our divisional draft recap film breakdowns. The first division we are going to take a look at is the AFC North. The AFC North in all did a great job of drafting, and we are going to take a look at a few of the prospects drafted into this division. The first team up is the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens did a really good job getting value throughout the entire draft. All 10 of their draft picks were featured in this year's SIS Football Rookie Handbook, and they are the only team that can say that in each of the past two seasons. Patrick Queen and J.K. Dobbins were great picks early in the draft and should make impacts on their respective sides of the ball. In this breakdown, I'm going to highlight defensive tackle Justin Madubuike out of Texas A&M and wide receiver James Prochet out of SMU. First, we're going to take a look at Justin Madubuike. Madubuike measured in at 6 feet 2 and 5/8 inches, 293 pounds in Indianapolis at the Combine. After declaring for the draft early as a junior, he was the defensive MVP following the 2019 season for the Aggies. The Ravens selected him in the third round at pick number 71 overall, and we're going to take a look at a couple of his plays from this past season against Auburn and Alabama. The first play we're going to take a look at is from the Auburn game. He's lined up pretty much in a one technique, and this is going to be a play action pass for Auburn. Now, as we play the play here, at the snap of the ball, we can see Madubuike shoot his hands and get into the center. He's playing strong and uses good leverage and extension at the point of attack. Once Madubuike gets the leverage and position that he wants, he uses a strong grip to push-pull, shedding the blocker aside and getting free into the backfield. Lucky enough for the quarterback, he sees it, steps aside, and gets rid of the ball before Madubuike can get there, although it forces a rush pass, resulting in an overthrow. Now for the Alabama game. He's lined up in a three tech here to the right side of the offense. This is going to be a split zone run away from Madubuike with a fake end around coming back his way. Now at the snap of the ball, he fires out and gains depth with his first step and gets his hands on the guard. Even with the tackle helping out, Madubuike shows good balance and lateral strength. His hand placement allows him to get leverage once again and drive the guard back into the backfield. There's a pile up here in front of him. He's relentless to the ball, diving over the pile and helping to secure the tackle. Those are the types of plays and high motor plays that Madubuike is really going to bring to Baltimore. Madubuike is a versatile player who can play all over the defensive line, and when taking a look at some of his stats last year, we can see that an adjusted tackle depth plus of 147 stands out, and his 36 pressures tied for 8th among defensive tackles. Next, let's take a look at James Prochet out of SMU. Prochet measured in at 5 feet, 10 and 1/8 inches, 201 pounds at the Combine. In addition to other drills, he posted 20 reps on the bench press, showing good strength for his size. A captain for SMU, Prochet set multiple receiving records during his time with the Mustangs. The Ravens selected him in the 6th round, 201st overall, and we're going to take a look at a couple of his plays from the 2018 game against Michigan. The first play we're going to take a look at is near the goal line with him as a single receiver to the right. He's going to run a fade to the back corner of the end zone. Now, off the line here, he gives a little stutter before getting into his route, and at that point we can see the burst he has to separate from the corner. Prochet doesn't have elite speed, but his burst and quickness are what allow him to find openings. We can see here that the corner is struggling to stay with him, and it's a great ball to the back corner of the end zone, and a great grab laying out by Prochet here. Strong hands, and shows good awareness at the corner of the end zone. We can see from the other angle here, great job extending, really making a great catch, and they actually called this an incomplete pass, but that's a catch in my eyes. The next play is of him working in the slot as the number 3 to the trip side. The slot is likely where he'll spend most of his time at the next level. This is going to be a simple slant route, but let's watch and see how he sets this up and gets himself open. With the DB playing outside leverage, at the snap of the ball here, Prochet attacks him to level him up, which now gets the DB guessing. After a quick stutter and jab to the outside, Prochet cuts to the middle after getting the DB to bounce to the outside here. It's a savvy move that turns into an easy throw and catch on a 3rd down and long to move the chains. Prochet brings a lot of production with him to Baltimore. His 2019 season saw him catch 111 balls, which tied for most in college football, with 15 touchdowns while receiving a 35% target share in SMU's offense. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals now. The Bengals had the number 1 pick and got Joe Burrow, who likely will change the dynamic of the organization for years to come. Grabbing T. Higgins in the 2nd round to play opposite A.J. Green, giving Burrow another weapon, was a great selection. With the 2019 first-round pick, Jonah Williams, coming back from injury, that offense is starting to take shape. In this breakdown, we're going to take a look at Appalachian State linebacker Akeem Davis-Gaither. Davis-Gaither measured in at 6 feet 1.5 inches, 224 pounds at the combine. After putting up 21 reps on the bench press, he couldn't partake in any other workouts with news coming out that he was going to have surgery on a stress fracture in his foot. In 2019, he was named the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. The Bengals took him with the first pick of the 4th round, 107th overall. We're going to break down a couple of his plays from App State's first meeting with Louisiana this past season. This first play, he is lined up on the edge to the offense's left. It's an RPO that's given to the back on a stretch to the outside. At the snap of the ball, Davis-Gaither uses a good, quick arm swipe to get inside of the tight end, and then uses good strength to fight through the block of the tackle and get to the back for a big loss here. As we watch it from the tight view, we can really see the dip inside, and then the strength, speed, and burst to close on the back for the tackle. He's not a huge take-on type and won't go head-on with blockers often, mostly dipping around them, but still makes plays like this nonetheless. Now in this play, he's lined up out in the slot, working his way out as the motion to trips comes his way. This is going to be a bubble screen from Louisiana. At the snap of the ball, we see him take one big shuffle to read what's going on, and then he quickly realizes it's a screen and breaks on the ball. He uses his athleticism and instincts all over the field and again brings down the ball carrier for a loss on the play. Davis-Gaither is an incredible athlete that should bring a lot of speed and range to the second level of the Bengals defense, whether he's playing the run, in coverage, or rushing the passer. When taking a look at some numbers from last season, Davis-Gaither produced 31 pressures from the linebacker spot for an 18% pressure rate, while in coverage only allowing a positive play rate of 29%. Now we're going to get to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns took home the Sports Info Solutions #1 draft class following the 2020 draft after filling a lot of needs with great players throughout the entirety of the draft. Jedrick Wills is a solid blocker both in the run and pass game and likely can play either side. Grant Delpit, our #1 rated safety in the middle of the second round, could turn out to be a huge steal for the back end of that defense. With the first of their 2 third-round selections, they selected Missouri defensive tackle Jordan Elliott, which is who we are going to take a look at today. At the combine, Elliott measured in at 6 feet 3 7/8 inches, 302 pounds. Elliott spent the 2016 season at Texas before transferring to Mizzou. He entered the draft as a redshirt junior after a great 2019 season in which he was named an AP second-team All-American. The Browns ultimately selected him 88th overall, and we're going to take a look at him against Vanderbilt and Florida from this past season. The first play comes from the Vanderbilt game. Elliott is lined up in a 3-tech to the offense's left. At the snap of the ball, we can see how quick and explosive he is out of his stance. As the center steps Elliott's way to get in position, he's already overcommitted as Elliott easily breaks through the line into the backfield. Elliott's quickness off the line and strong rip move allows him to meet the running back in the backfield and take him down for a big loss. The next play against Florida is going to showcase his pass rush ability. He's lined up around a 1 or 2 eye to the offense's right. Now, at the snap of the ball, again, he's quick and explosive off the line. This time he uses a bit of a slap with his left hand to set up the swim move to get by and into the backfield. Once by the lineman, he has a clear path to get to the quarterback for an easy sack. Elliott will show up mostly in the run game, but should also bring some pass rush to Cleveland's defense. Taking a look at his 2019 season, he had an adjusted tackle depth plus of 139 and pressured quarterbacks 28 times. The final AFC North team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. While they didn't receive a high draft grade from us, they still made some good selections. Second-round pick Chase Claypool brings size and speed to the outside, while fourth-round selection Anthony McFarland out of Maryland has a lot of traits and limited tread on his tires. But the player we're going to take a look at is another terrapin, and that's safety Antoine Brooks. Brooks measured in at 5 feet 10 5/8 inches, 220 pounds at the combine. He put up a respectable 18 reps on the bench press and a 34.5-inch vertical jump while in Indianapolis. A high motor player, Brooks took home the team's most valuable player award following the 2019 season. The Steelers selected him in the 6th round, 198th overall, and we're going to take a look at a couple plays from his 2018 games against Texas and Michigan. The first play we're going to take a look at comes from the Texas game. Brooks is lined up on the edge to the offense's left. Even though being listed as a safety, he spent a lot of time in the box or in the slot for Maryland's defense. This is a split zone run play up the middle in which the back cuts outside to the right, away from Brooks. Now at the snap of the ball, Brooks explodes through the tight end and runs the back down from the backside for a big loss here. His range and pursuit near the line of scrimmage are a lot of what makes him the kind of player he is. Now to the Michigan game. He's lined up off the ball, up at the top of the screen to the offense's left. This is a cover one look, and he's going to be manned up on the tight end running a corner route. As the play rolls here, the quarterback gets flushed out of the pocket, and after attempting to go downfield, tight end Zach Gentry comes back to the ball. Brooks does a good job sticking his foot in the ground and transitioning to the receiver, jumping up to make a play on the ball at the catch point. He knocks the ball away, and one of his teammates comes over to make the interception. When we look at the other view, we can see the burst and athleticism that Brooks possesses here to break up, go up, and knock the ball away from a big target and force a turnover for his defense. Although he needs work in coverage, his coverage numbers improved in 2019. When comparing his last two seasons, Brooks spent only 63% of the time in coverage in 2018 before bumping that up to 87% in 2019. His 25 pressures in 2018 ranked first among all defensive backs, and even with rushing less in 2019, his 11 pressures still ranked tied for 14th, and his pressure rate didn't drop off. Brooks is an athletic player who will make a difference near the line of scrimmage. Now, what questions need to be answered moving forward in the AFC North? Can anyone keep up with the Ravens? Will the return of Ben Roethlisberger to Pittsburgh's offense turn into more wins? Do the Browns finally have the complete team to make a run? Will Joe Burrow be the savior at quarterback that the Bengals have been looking for? We'll see what sort of contributions the 2020 draft class has on the AFC North over the next few seasons and find out what the answers are to these questions. Make sure to go get the SIS Football Rookie Handbook or register for a free trial on the SIS DataHub to see all of these stats and more for every player, and also tune in each week to the Off the Charts podcast. Thanks for watching SIS Film Breakdowns.